So, here's the students, they convinced Delta to not only get a bigger plane, but to fly into another airport where we can all land, and then we take an 8-hour bus ride. So this was their weekend. They had, I want to say this was January, so they had finals. They stayed the night at the Boston Logan International Airport. We got on a plane, flew down to Atlanta, got delayed for 8 hours in the airport, finally went to the hotel. The next day, woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, got back to Atlanta Airport, and flew into San Pedro Sula, which is 8 hours away from where we're supposed to be. We get met by global brigades. We get a little bit of pizza on the bus, and they drive us for 8 to 9 hours from San Pedro Sula down to Tegucigalpa. And you could sit there and think, wow, that must have been tough. These students must have been miserable. And every single one of them were just excited to be there. They wanted the experience of being in a third world country. They wanted to see the healthcare system or what it was that happens in Honduras, and really wanted to make a difference. And I think that sums up how I view these students. They'll take the knocks, but they'll keep on going.
Yeah, what a great story. How did you get involved in the global brigades or chaperoning international trips in general?
Well, I used to work in international health, and I moved over to environmental health to do the finances. And one day I got an email, hey, anybody want to go to Honduras for a trip? And I thought, well, how can I pass that up? So I sent an email saying, hey, if you still need somebody. They said, we do. We'll be over to sign the paper tomorrow for the chaperone. Great, thanks so much. And I went there, and again, if you're wondering if you should try it, if you have an inkling in the back of your head, just go for it. And if you hate it, it's a week of your life and you're done, and you can go to Europe and travel around as opposed to a third world country. But I don't think you're going to hate it. I think you're going to love it. So then they needed a chaperone each semester, and I said, well, if you don't find, because they can have doctors or dentists go and chaperone them, but if they can't find somebody, I'd be happy to go. And so since then I've gone 7 or 8 more times. And again, if it wasn't a great experience, I wouldn't keep doing it. And it just, how many chances do you get to go to a third world country and actually make a difference in someone's life? And I don't know if you can, well, you can see this, but they can't. There's a picture on my wall up there of Ariana, and she is a girl that I met when she was 2.5 years old down in Honduras. She lives at the orphanage that we go to visit every semester. Her mom is there, but she lives in a home with 2 other older women that she calls the moms of the house. And we played Donde Está Ariana for probably a good solid 45 minutes. And a 2-year-old, she was running behind you, and you're like, where'd she go? And then she jumps out and she just laughed the whole time. So the next time I go back, 6 months later, I go back, and her friends are like, ¿Dónde está Ariana? ¿Dónde está? I'm like, yeah, where's Ariana? She comes out, and we keep playing. So this goes on for 3.5 years now. She's almost 6 now. And this last time I went, the photo's actually from the last time I went, we were joking around, and then she gave someone a hug from BU, gave one of the students a hug. And I went, oh, can I have a hug? And she looked at me and goes, no. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll see you later. And I turned around to walk away, and she came up, she pushed me from behind, and she just put her arms up. And this is the first time she ever actually gave me a hug. But it was just like that moment where you talk about affecting someone's life, whether it be for a moment or a lifetime. This is someone who, she's adorable. And it's someone's like, that's the best Photoshop I've ever gotten in my life. And it was just a good, heartfelt hug. And there's also a pharmacist who goes, his daughter, well, him and his wife both go, their daughter went to BU, she graduated, but they still go down every January. And they see the same girl, and they sponsor the girl for the whole year. I think, just minimal amount of money to us, but to them it's a good chunk of change. So you can really make those connections that last a lifetime.
There's only a few minutes left, but just any final thoughts, maybe something that you feel would be important for folks to know that you haven't had a chance to say yet?
Let's see. just try it. You know, to live in the U.S., we're a lucky group, and you know, to sit there and think you know what a third world country is like, well, you can go experience it and you can try it out, and what a fantastic experience it is, because you get to see not only, you know, the touristy type areas or the Hondurans that we interact with on a daily basis, or we might stay at a compound with a whole bunch of other schools, or we might stay at a hotel locked compound where you interact with the staff, or they provide food for you, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and these ladies are up. You figure we're up at 6:30 or 6 o'clock getting breakfast, which means they had to travel from where they live, and they are there all day. They serve you dinner when you get home, maybe at 6:30 or 7 o'clock at night, and then they're back the next morning while all you did was sleep. And you know, it's though that to me, this isn't really advice. It's more just another story where it's a level of commitment that comes from the Global Brigades folks. That these folks really believe in the organization. I think it's been around for 11 years, and they really think they have the way to solve a lot of problems. And it's also interesting if you start to look at third world countries and how do they get to be developed countries. I love talking to all the students, along with a couple of the Hondurans. They have translators there, and they have bus drivers, so you can find out about the politics and the healthcare system down there, and the public education system. It pays through, I think, 8th grade. But a lot of kids have to go and collect sticks so they can sell them at the market, or so they can have fire at night. And how can you tell a family that, oh well, we don't really need to have a fire, you can go to school? And you know, talking with the students and trying to tease out that bowl of spaghetti that is development, international development, and what is the right way to do it. And you know, sometimes the students get frustrated with sustainability. You know, we're flying in, dropping off some medications, counting it out, and going away. Well, Global Brigades actually has a holistic model, so they have a water brigade where they will work with the community members, and if they get 95% of the community to agree to pay for water, I think it's 10 limpure or 20 limpure, so the cost of one big 2 liters of Coca-Cola for the month, they can get water. So then they bring water in, and they finish their first community. And back when they started, it was 98% of the people had a parasite in their intestines or in their stomach, and they went back and it was 2% because they had the whole wraparound services. As far as if you want to chaperone, if you're thinking about it, get to know the students, you know, talk with them first and see if it's a good fit for you. I'm happy to answer questions if you want to know about the Honduras trip, or I think they go to Panama City now, in Nicaragua. It's rewarding in its own way. Sure, you're tired, you know, you take your vacation for a week and you go, it's like going to Disney World, except different. Disney World you get tired in one way, Honduras you get tired in a different way. But it's well worth it, and I know one person who went, and she did the environmental health brigade, where they literally hiked up a mountain with pickaxes. That's exhausting, you know, and I don't know if they get the reward that I do from going to the medical brigades, but she went and she was so happy she did, and I think she's, you know, moved on to have a family now and that sort of stuff, but she really got a lot out of it.
Thank you so much.
Oh no, thank you.
I'm gonna just